What's up, YouTube? Go back to the channel. So, y'all know what time it is. It's about that time for My Hero Academia chapter review. And Mina Ashido's Acid Woman, not Acid Man, Acid Woman, is coming in handy really well. Also, Tetsu and Red Riot's also in this chapter. Gigantomachia still doing some, showing off, showing, his skills, his abilities, his multiple quirks. I don't know. At this point, it's just the dude's probably OP as hell, just like his master. But awesome chapter. I like what I'm seeing. This arc is going on for a very long time. We're gonna see how this chapter went in this review, my thoughts and opinions, and have a little discussion with you guys, ladies and gentlemen, and see what y'all thought about this chapter. Before we get into anything else, like, comment, subscribe, share. Anime fans, you know the drill. But okay, let's go on and get into this. Mina Ashido's Acid Man armor. It's gonna help her get this sleeping agent into Gigantomachia's mouth so it can knock him out. But later on in the chapter, we learn that it might not work out, but at the end it might work out. I don't know. She's worried about Midnight because, like I said in the last video or last chapter review, Midnight is not in a good place right now. We don't know if she survived. We don't know if she died. We don't know what the hell's going on. We don't know if she's captured or what happened. But we do know that the last time we seen her was when she told Momo, hey, look, y'all got to make that sleeping agent to knock out Gigantomachia. Then after that, her feed went silent because she got jumped by a bunch of villains from the League of Villains, which I do think is kind of fucked up because I'm like, yo, y'all need that many dudes to jump one woman who's by herself, who's injured. Like, I think that was kind of like, I guess a punk way of doing things. But the one thing I can sit here and say that I believe she's still alive. She's just gonna be majorly wounded or injured. Now Gigantomachia is out here, causing a scene, causing a ruckus. Because remember, his mission is to get to Shigaraki because Shigaraki called for him. So he's gonna do anything for his master, and his master is Shigaraki, of course. So what's going on is Dabi is over here burning the whole forest down. And it's kind of funny because if you think about it, every time they fight Dabi, it's always someplace where, it can be easily burned down. Like, he pretty much has the home field advantage, if you want to be for real. Like, the last time they fought him in the forest, at that forest training arc, nothing but trees. Here, nothing but trees. When he fought Hawks, they were in a building, but buildings burn down pretty quick too, especially with blue flames. And if you don't know that blue flames are the hottest flames that are out there, so Dabi's making, he's pretty much causing a whole wildfire just because. And a lot of people are wondering, like, okay, I got blown away due to Gigantomachia, and if I fell through these flames, I wonder who else is stuck in those mighty hot ass flames, because Dabi's flames are pretty damn hot. And it's to a point to where it even hurts himself. So it's like, I don't know if Dabi is, useful, because of the fact of the matter is that he just doesn't know how to, cause pain to his opponent, but he's also causing pain to himself. So he's like, I guess useless to himself, I guess, as I'll put it. So as things go further on into the chapter, we learn that Gigantomachia is pretty much using all his other abilities, which is, it looks like he is shedding his skin a little bit. Because one of the panels, it's kind of hard to make out before I'm reading these scans and stuff, but it looks like he dislocated his jaw. Looks like he's, has a extra layer of skin. Or it's kind of hard to explain, y'all. I've seen people, explain it in different ways. I see him as dislocating his jaw, but I don't understand why would he do that if he wants to keep his mouth closed so they don't put the sleepy agent in his mouth. I mean, Mina is trying her hardest. She says she got this, she can do this, and she believes in herself. But she also has to remember, though, back in the day, she has met Gigantomachia way before she was even at UA. And she feared for her life. And this is her standing up to, I guess, a bully in ways you want to put it. And when it comes down to her facing her fears, because every character in My Hero Academia, hell, and every character in anime that that's part of the main protagonist's team, they always have an obstacle to get over. And I think this is hers, that she remembers him from middle school. They just came across him one day and he scared the holy shit out of all her, Tetsu, Red Riot, and I think a couple other people were there as well. But what I'm getting at is this, that she's here to face her fears. Now Gigantomachia is also sitting here telling Mount Lady that, hey, look, I don't know why you still clinging on to me. I can shake you off. I'm doing this for my master. All that stuff. So he is not worried about what Mount Lady's got going on here. He says, I'm just going to shake you off again. And y'all just going to have to leave me alone so I can get back to my master and serve my master. And Mount Lady is pretty banged up. Really banged up. I'm surprised that Dobby or none of the other villains had jumped on her just yet. And they probably will later on down the line. But right now, it's just her and Gigantomachia, which is, like I said, kind of, funny that she's still trying that, because we don't really know much about, well, we do know a lot about Mount Lady. Well, not a lot, but, enough to know what kind of person she is. And like me personally, just thought that she was the type of hero who wanted to be in front of the camera. But it shows that she actually knows how to be a hero and knows how to be useful. I mean, she's a pro hero, so yeah, I guess she can be useful. Now, kind of sort of not useful at the same time, because she's big as fuck, so she could squash a lot of people. But if she's fighting villains smaller than her, all she gotta do is step on them. But she also gotta worry about civilians. But that's a story for a different day. We're talking about what's going on in this chapter. What's going on in this chapter today, and that's how they're gonna get this sleep agent in there, how they got Red Riot and Tetsu Tetsu in this, because that's what made the chapter 10 times as better. Because as Gigantomachia is getting ready to land his hand on Mina, out of nowhere, like Randy Orton, we end up getting Red Riot, coming in to save her. Because also, like I just said earlier in this chapter, he also came across Gigantomachia back in the day with Mina, and they both got scared shitless. And you know how Red Riot is. He always wants to be, he wants to be the manliest of men, all that stuff. He wants to stand up for, anybody and everybody that's weak. He's a hero. He's going to school to be a hero. And we all remember what happened when him and Fat Gum and others went down to stop, overhauling his crew. And the Precepts of Death, he ended up getting into that one altercation with one of the Precepts of Death. And he pretty much sat there and said, he doesn't want to be weak. And, there's always that one character in anime who does not want to be weak at all. There's always that one. So he comes in, swoops in, saves her, and he remembers when he came across Gigantomachia, like I just said. And he was like, nope, I'm older now. I was in middle school. I'm a grown-ass, well, I'm going to say he's a grown-ass man, but he's like, I'm more mature than I was last time, and he is not going to let Gigantomachia get away or, harm his friends. And let's sit back and just look at Gigantomachia and look at Red Riot. Look at Red Riot's powers. Look at how he looks. And look at Gigantomachia. Now look at Red Riot. Now look at Gigantomachia again. Now look at Gigantomachia. Now look at Shigaraki. Now look at Shigaraki. Now look at Dobby. Okay, now I'm fucking with y'all. But look at the two. All right. I kind of think they have the same powers, because the way Red Riot's, powers, his hardening powers, or I think that's what it's called, hardening powers, how they kind of look just like Gigantomachia. So they could have the same type of quirk if you want to be real, but I highly doubt that they do. And if this is Gigantomachia's birth quirk instead of a quirk that, All For One gave him, then yeah, okay, sure. Then I guess where they get it from? Did he get it from, did they steal it from Red Riot's father, or did somebody else that, that's related to Red Riot that has that same power? Or is there somebody in the world that has that same quirk as him, and they just be like, here, we're going to kidnap you, we're going to give this power to Gigantomachia, and go from there. As he's, tango with the Rango, which is, I wouldn't say tango with the Rango, as you see them getting ready to fight one another, you also got to remember that these two are scared. A lot of people are saying we should ship the two between Red Riot and Acid Girl. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really into the whole, hey, these two characters should date, all that crap. I'm just like, man, I'm just here to read the manga. I'm just here to see the fights, and that's it. But things are starting to pick up. Things are starting to get heavy, because we also go back to Endeavor and Shigaraki, because there's something that Shigaraki says that kind of, clicks in Endeavor's mind, and that is, heroes always put people that they don't know first before their family. Heroes are always hurting their own families. And as he was saying that, I guess something triggered in Endeavor, I guess not in a bad way, but as in a, oh shit, like, am I that type of person? Am I that type of hero? Because remember, Shigaraki's grandmother, Nana, who is the one who gave All Might his one for all powers, ditched her responsibilities as a mother to go be a superhero. And the child that she then gave birth to is the father of Shigaraki. So Shigaraki doesn't know that his grandmother is the reason why his father dislikes heroes. I take that back. I think he does know, because I could have sworn he went into his office in one episode that I watched, and he seen that there was a photo of his grandmother, and his father was against it. He's against heroes. He's against, of course, he's gonna be against villains because they're bad guys, but he's against it because of the fact that if it wasn't for villains and heroes, he would have never lost his mother. And I understand where his father comes from with all this anger and frustration, because he feels that his mother used being a hero as an excuse to not be a mother. And you always got to be a parent first, always, hands down. Your children come first. And he felt some type of way about that. And that's where Shigaraki comes in. It's all like, heroes always putting people that they do not know first before their own family. And that's what Endeavor clicks in his head, because I think what's going on with Endeavor is we're starting to see Endeavor, each chapter or each arc or whatever, learn a lesson, or see him, succumb to his past. His past is coming back to bite him in his ass, i.e. Dabi, i.e. Hawks. Well, I want to say Hawks because I don't think he knew who Hawks was back in the day, but Dabi probably being the lost Todoroki, and the fact that Shigaraki has said that, and Endeavor come to the senses that maybe he knows that he's been a shit father, he's been a really bad parent these many years. And that was the main thing I wanted to talk about in this video here in this chapter, is that will we see Endeavor sit down? I want to say sit down and talk to Dabi, because there is no sitting down. They're gonna be fighting. They're gonna be talking, but they're gonna be fighting. There is no Maury Povich, I am your father, DNA test, Jerry Springer bullshit. Well, this is gonna be some Jerry Springer bullshit, because you know how Jerry Springer is. Everybody don't watch Jerry Springer before, but that's the main thing I took away from this chapter, is that Shigaraki knows that some heroes are just using it as an excuse to, for people to get to know them, for money, fame. Some people are using it to escape from their real responsibilities, i.e. Nana, his grandmother. Some people are using it, to actually be good people. And some people are just using it, to further their plans of, I guess, popularity. I don't know. Endeavor always wanted to be known as the #1 hero, the strongest. He doesn't want nobody to be above him. He wants everybody to be below him. But he did not learn that. He had to learn that the hard way, though, that not everybody can be #1. All Might was always #1 until he retired. And I think Endeavor was upset that he retired like that, and he couldn't, beat All Might in the way that he wanted to, like, hey, I'm the best hero in the world and you're not, that kind of thing. He didn't want to earn his #1 spot by watching All Might retire. He wanted to beat him in a way that most people thought he was going to beat him. So what do you guys think? What do you think is going to happen when Shigaraki and Gigantomachia link up? Do you think the fight's going to keep going afterwards, or you think they're going to escape once he gets a hold of Shigaraki? And also keep this in mind too, when Shigaraki has said what he said, I don't think Endeavor was the only one that got triggered by that. I think Shoto did too, because the whole his mom threw hot water in his face. That's why he got that red patch on his face. Bakugo probably got triggered by it. Maybe Midoriya got triggered by it. I highly doubt it, but we'll have to wait and see how he feels about it. But that's the main thing I wanted to talk about in this chapter, because it's starting to show that maybe we're going to get to know more about Endeavor, more about his past. Why is he the way he is? Is there something he's trying to live up to besides trying to be #1? Is there somebody he's trying to, impress? Maybe he has a father figure, or a father who always called him a failure, and he's still living up to that, even though that said parent isn't around anymore. Because like I said, what do you think is about to happen next? Do you think this chapter do you think this arc is going to last for the rest of this year? Is my main question. Because it seems like there is no slowing down with this arc, but there is no end to it at the same time, if that makes any sense. But other than that, guys, that's all I got for y'all. Y'all take care of yourselves. Peace.
Already got me nice and heavy, yeah.